All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Remember when I told all my drivers, reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time? Drivers, start your engines!
And gentlemen, start your engine!
And welcome back to another episode of the Green White Checkered podcast. I am Andrew. I'm joined with Zach and Joe this week. Drake is to be determined. He might show up, he might not. So let's get into it, boys. New Hampshire. We had 3 races, 1 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. And Christopher Bell seemed to win 2 of the actual ones that mattered.
He did?
So, Zach, you called it last week. Your boy, C. Bell.
I did.
New Hampshire.
I did. I was pretty pumped up. I was pretty amped, especially Sunday, man. He fucking sent around there on the top side when they went back racing after the rain, dude. I was so pumped. I think he started 5th and he came off the corner 3rd. Like, I was like, holy shit.
How do you feel that NASCAR had to add a whole nother second race for Christopher Bell to win on Sunday?
What do you mean that added a whole second race?
for
They
it.
finished the
Rain
race. They ran the distance.
Rich
They
for you.
ran the distance.
Tyler Reddick should have won that race.
Well, you know. You know what I didn't like? I did not like them letting him put fuel in the car after the rain delay.
Why? Why?
That was so stupid, dude.
So
Because
every team had to put new tires on, right?
yeah,
So they would have had to come down pit road, right? What would
don't
have every
have to.
team have done? Add gas.
you can.
NASCAR
No,
was requiring
they all
every
had
team to
they all had
change
fuel at that
tires.
point. They all
They
had
didn't
fuel.
all have fuel. They would have had to
Everyone-
pit for fuel still.
Not everybody. A lot
There's
of
no
them.
way they're running 100+ laps.
A lot
on
of them
fuel.
already did green flag pit stops. Yes, they were at 80
They
laps.
would
What are you
not
talking
have
about?
made it. There were 80 left, but they
There
had
was
pit with
plenty of them
over
that were
100
gonna.
left.
There was
They
plenty of
were
them that
not
were
going
gonna
to make
make
it. They still had
Yes,
to make
they
it.
were.
No.
You were so full of shit. They were
100%
gonna make it. Denny Hamlin said he
100%
had
wouldn't
fuel
have
to
happened.
make it to the end.
Denny
would have made
Hamlin's
it.
full of shit. I mean, what has Denny
you
Hamlin
know,
ever done?
Andrew
How
knows.
many
Andrew, a guy on a
championships
pro-
does
on a
Denny
podcast,
Hamlin
man.
have?
I don't know how many times they run out of fuel. The only team that might not have made it is Ryan Blaney because we know they have fuel calculating issues. But
It's true.
they
That
all
is
would have.
true.
There was a lot of guys that would have made it. Tyler Reddick stayed out and didn't pit specifically for this to roll the dice for the weather. So no, I don't think if you have to add fuel, you don't get to keep your spot. I think you have to go tail end of the longest line or tail end of the lead lap.
NASCAR forced every team to make a pit stop, non-competitive, and
They
so I
forced
think
them
it's
to
fair
change
game.
tires.
Exactly. But if they have to change tires, which they would have done during a pit stop, they would have
I
added
think
fuel.
I think you can do that. I think if you're going to do this rain, we're stopping the race. We're going to change to wet weather tires and then resume the race. You do the tires. And then if you want to make any adjustments or add any fuel, you can do that, but you have to go to the tail end.
I think you're wrong.
Well, yeah, weird because Tyler Reddick would have had to go to the tail end. Why would Andrew think I'm wrong? I have no
I
idea.
mean, even if you wouldn't have, I still think because of how it fell with the whole rain caution and forcing the teams to take rain tires on pit road, non-competitive, they should be able to add fuel. That's just how I view it.
You can add
Right.
fuel, but you lose your position
Why?
because
NASCAR is
You would've
forcing
had to
everybody
pit.
to do a pit stop.
yeah, for tires. Not everybody needed fuel. If you need fuel,
And
you
I
need
bet
that
every
service,
team
tail end.
added fuel
Why? Why would they? If you don't need fuel, why would you have fuel?
just so you don't have to worry about green white checkered at the end.
How do you know they didn't have enough?
I guarantee
you-
you, if
are
you
you
look
in
at
the
they're
war
right
room?
on the edge.
Are you in the war room? I don't know if you are.
Depends what room you consider the war room.
They
Wow.
were all good to
Are-
go to the end.
The RCR Command Center War Room, sponsored by RCR.
Oof, man, I would not want to be in any room with Richard Childress right now.
No, I would not.
Or
either.
Kyle Busch. So
I mean,
Definitely not.
it's fun.
I don't know, man. I said after watching that one kid at Kansas ask Kyle Busch for a quick question, he said, "Make it quick," and then he doesn't say it quick. I was like, he's about to rip this kid's head off. But I don't think I'd want to be in a room with him right now. Just man, that was another struggling race for Kyle Busch. And it's just week after week after week. I don't think he makes it on points anymore. I mean,
He's got to win at this point. Yeah.
he got lucky. He got lucky this week with Bubba and Joey having bad weeks, but
yeah.
I mean,
the cut line.
Beyond that, he's not catching Buescher. And so if there's a new winner, which good chance there's a new winner with what, 9 races left, you got to gain 2 spots. Well, I mean, he's got to gain more than that, but you got to be 2 above the cut line right now, I think. And
he is 45 points back and 19th, so he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, and he's, what is that, 13? So he's 87 points back from Buescher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's too much to make up. I mean, it's possible. We were saying it last year with Chase Elliott nonstop. Like, oh, Chase has got to gain 40 points. He's got to gain this. It's possible.
Just have close
race. But I don't know. I think the ship's sailing here on Kyle Busch. He needs a win.
Yeah, probably. It's not looking great.
And it sounds like RCR is imploding.
Yeah, they sure are.
Because Andy Petrie today announced his retirement.
Yeah.
Effective immediate retirement.
Yeah.
That's the peculiar part.
We just had the CEO of our company do the same. It's weird. He didn't send out any emails or anything either. So
yeah.
But
interesting.
I said in Discord what I think happened is basically he said, hey, this Austin Dillon kid sucks. We should get Kyle Busch a real teammate. And then Richard just looked at him and said, I will accept your retirement. Yeah. And just walked him out. Like, I mean, I don't know. Petrie's already been retired, though. I think he just has had enough. I don't know.
I agree. That's just Austin Dillon's he's only leaving if he wants to. Not if they're not kicking him out, sadly, which sucks, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
well, your team's gonna suck is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Guess Richard's okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I got a little insight on that, I think. But let's get back to the race. So Kyle Busch still struggling. The person that isn't struggling, Justin Haley and the SHR boys. So Justin Haley was 5th at the rain break in a Rick Ware car. He was 10th last week? Or, well, no, he fell back to 12th or 13th last week, but he was running top 10 most of the race. But just to see a Rick Ware car running 5th. And then after the rain, he was running good again until the McDowell incident.
Yeah.
And he got some front end damage. I mean, just barely, but
did you see
apparently it was enough to affect the car.
Did you see a clip of, I think he got it from Ross. Did you see him run into Ross?
Oh, no, he definitely hit McDowell.
Did you see him fucking shit on Ross though? That was so funny.
No, I didn't.
I should have put it in Discord, but Ross is like, I don't know, just doing Ross stuff, and he blows the corner in 3 and sort of like goes up the track, like, and they're Haley and Ross are trying to run that apron line after the rain, and Ross like washes up, loses speed, and then like cuts down to come back onto the lane that Haley's riding and running, and Haley just never lifts and just clears him out. That's why Ross spun out late in the race.
Thanks, Justin.
Haley just ran over him. Dude, it was so funny. It was so good. It's like, yes, do that, please.
Give it back to him. Like,
yes. Like, that's what Ross would have done. He would just run over you. So just
exactly. Yep, he would have moved you out of the way, probably spun you too. But before the rain happened, what a messy race. It was like an A-fix out there, just nonstop.
So bad.
Caution after caution after caution. That Zach's over there freaking out, like, just run green, because he wants Christopher Bell to gain positions and get to the lead.
Well, I want some racing to happen. Like, they're just like your guy falls back and, like, you know, like, I know he's got speed. Like, let's race a few laps, and they're just like him hauling around under caution. Like, they weren't like big deals. It wasn't like there's fluid all over the track. It's like just some asshole spun out or something. Like, I just wish that, like, when we were under these conditions of, like, we know weather's imminent, we could just do like quickie yellows in this situation. Like, let's just get back to racing as quick as possible. Nobody's taking tires. Nobody's doing big pit stops right now. If, you know, you got what you got when we know weather's 10 miles out, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's pitting from the front or from any meaningful position to like get some sort of strategic advantage when rain is 20 minutes away.
Yeah. It's frustrating to me that we don't have some kind of quickie yellow. I'm guessing it's just because they can't communicate it to the broadcast team in time.
Mm-hmm.
But why can't we just say, like,
I mean,
especially after a bunch of pit stops, just hey, we're gonna do one lap here. We're gonna bring you around. You can do the choose, and then we're going green. Just bam, bam. Like, especially some of these single car.
Just re-rack. Like, re-rack exactly how you chose the first time. You know, if somebody moves, like if somebody spun out, then that lane moves up one. Like, just make it simple. Don't even do the choose again.
I don't
unless
hate
doing
it.
Unless doing the choose would in fact be faster. Whatever's faster, do that.
I think it would be quicker to do the choose just because you're already in line.
Then do the choose.
Especially since what we were seeing was a lot of the leaders and top guys that were spinning out before. And it was just, I don't know. It was a mess.
I don't think so. It was like all back end dudes that were spinning out there when it was close to.
I guess it was kind of everything, wasn't it? Because you had the whole Ryan Kreese taking out multiple people. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like mid to
for 90th
guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was just annoying. I kind of was thinking, I wish too, like when we know weather again is imminent, like maybe we think about like not doing stage breaks just for the sake of keeping racing.
I agree.
Like just I don't know if that would be too confusing, or
of course we're all for this because we hate stage breaks to begin with. But
I just mean in general, like you're up against the clock.
Yeah.
You know you're at a track that doesn't have lights, so not only do you have weather coming in, but you also have no lights.
Yeah.
So you're
we were we were an extra caution away from probably them having to call it for darkness because it was pretty dark when they finished.
Yeah.
They're at the end, so
I don't know. I mean, I just wish it could be like a little more flexible in those sort of situations where we can just try to get as much racing in as possible by doing things more efficiently.
I agree.
NASCAR be efficient? Come on, man. You should know better now. So I want to ask you guys. This race just felt like completely just multiple different races, right? So stage one, how did you guys feel?
I mean, I was pretty happy.
Well, great because Chase led most of it until the end there.
But what did you think of the racing? I thought the racing was very boring.
Yeah,
there wasn't much going on.
Yeah.
It's a normal New Hampshire race, right?
I mean, it was the beginning of the race, but I mean, you saw Bell chase down and make a pass for the lead, which is typically difficult. You know, it's the beginning of the race. Things aren't exactly super high strung. So for the beginning of a New Hampshire race, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was awful, but I'm not a Chase or a C Bell fan. So.
I mean, even just taking that out of it, like we saw a pass for the lead and we saw people moving around through the field. So, I mean, stuff was happening. So it's the beginning of the race. Things aren't super tense yet. Stage 2 felt a little calmer, I think, because I think it seemed like stage 1, everybody was kind of finding their positions, and then stage 2, they found them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's stage 2.
100%.
Seemed like there was, because I mean, in stage 1, you had like Martin Truex moving through the field, Denny Hamlin was moving up, Chase was moving back. You know, you had like these comers and goers kind of going on, and then stage 2, it felt like they were just where they should have been.
Yeah. I was working on my tree most of the weekend, and stage 2, I was like, you know what? I'm going back to working on the tree. Got my nice Irish tan, aka a sunburn, but then I kind of just started checking in, and then stage 3 happened, and that's when everybody was like, hey, we got weather. And it's kind of exciting. There was a lot of hard racing, but there was the messy wrecks, spins, stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rain hit. And I was very outspoken in Discord. I'm like, this one's over, boys. Pack it in. Tyler Reddick's the winner. Yep.
We got wet tires. Why aren't we using them? Like, people were just frying that. I'm 100% convinced that social media pressured NASCAR to get that race going again.
I don't think it's just social media. I think it's this new media deal that Fox just signed with IndyCar. Because what was after the NASCAR race?
IndyCar.
Well, I mean,
IndyCar.
I don't know how much NASCAR cared about that, but I did think it was funny that NBC opted to show NASCAR rain delay coverage over the IndyCar broadcast. I do find that very interesting. I think there was some go fuck yourself IndyCar in that one for sure.
Yeah, I I found it a little hilarious just because it was kind of a jab at Fox for the Charlotte or the Coke 600. And I mean, I'm here for it. I'm glad that NBC is doing this to where, they're trying to get a race in, unlike Fox.
Yeah. No,
I'm happy we got the rain tires in. Damn it, Joe, you got me saying it. The wet weather tires.
I know they're not rain tires, but
you always say rain tires, but I don't know. It's
not that Joe always says rain tires. He
always
says, why are they not racing in the rain?
Is rain wet?
Okay.
Rain is wet.
We know they don't
Same
race
thing.
in the rain. Joe just always
won't
asks
race
the
in the rain.
question. Why aren't they racing in the rain?
They learned their lesson at Coda because of the spray. That's why we don't race in the rain.
I mean, I
feel like a drizzle we could.
There's a point. Like, I don't think there needs to be a hard line. Like the broadcast was frustrating me. Like, I was listening to Burton talk, and he was like driving me nuts. He's like, "Oh well, when do you want to try this? Do you want to try this when there's?" Because he was like really like putting down the idea of trying the wet weather tires at first, and like trying to say like, well, this could have championship implications, and when do you want to really risk doing it? Like, when you got to do it at some point, like. You have to risk it at some point. Otherwise, why? Like, you're never just going to do it. Like, every race has championship implications. Like, what are you talking about?
Well,
like,
and so all of them that we've tried this at, it's always felt like the track's dry, and we're like, yeah, let's put the rain tires or wet weather tires on. But it's on a dry track, right? So then you run like 10 laps, and then everybody's burning them up, like North Wilkesboro. We saw it Saturday in the Xfinity race. It started on a pretty dry track, and everybody burned them up. And 20 laps in, caution, everybody takes them off. This is the first time that we've actually, I think, had a track that was decently still wet. Yeah. I mean, it was drying a little bit in the center, and we saw during the cautions the guys going down to like the pit road wall and running through the water. John Hunter just taking the road course and going through the grass to cool the tires.
That was funny.
But yeah, it was different. I don't know. I'm here for it. I liked it. I thought it actually put on a pretty good show. You saw guys just running all over the track. I think the track was a little too dry at the end to run them, and I think NASCAR should have let the teams choose which tire, but I don't know.
I don't think it was.
I think it was a good test.
I think it was still too wet at the end. Like, I mean, I agree they should have let teams try, but I don't think like Kyle Larson was saying we should put slicks on. But I mean, you can see the cars rolling around and water was still kicking up from the back of their wheels, so it's like it's still plenty wet out there. But I mean, whatever. Let them put them on and find out real quick if it'll work or not. Like, I don't care.
So when that caution came out with what was it, like 20 to go or something like that, when everybody was like begging NASCAR for tires, they showed Kyle Larson's pit crew, and they were going to do what we used to do in motorcycle racing. They had the wet weather tires for the front and slicks for the rear ready. Like, they were on pit road wall.
There you go.
And I was just like, yes, this is awesome. This is what I want to see. And they're like, nope, wet weather all around. It's like, fuck. Damn it, NASCAR. Like, I would love to see that, because can you imagine the cars?
Angle of it too. Like, if NASCAR does get to the point where they let teams put slicks over the wet weathers, are they going to have some weird rule where you can't mix and match?
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with them mixing and matching the fronts and rears, but not rights and lefts. I think at that point, you're looking for an advantage in the tire. But yeah, I would really like to see them try that out, just especially because you're going to see guys sliding the rear end, trying to get the power down on a track that's still kind of wet.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with them doing whatever. If they want to put one rain tire on it, go for it. Like, I kind of like the idea. Let me see something different. Who can be the most creative and make it work the best? That would be interesting to see. I don't care what they do.
Can you imagine somebody winning like their first race right before like the playoffs because they put on one like right front wet weather tire? Oh man, just Twitter would explode.
I mean, how's it any different? I'd honestly, give them more credit for making the playoffs that way than like a Daytona win, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, a Daytona win could just come down to pure luck, whereas like that's like being creative and taking a risk. So
yeah, and I mean, the crew chief there would definitely get a good pat on the back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We saw some good finishes. I mean, you had Chase Briscoe looking for a ride,
He's
kind of
up there. Well, not
finished
anymore.
second.
He hasn't been looking for a ride since Sonoma, apparently.
Yeah. Josh Berry, I thought he had a really good shot to win it. He got
He did.
third. Michael McDowell was up there until he made a bonehead move and kind of took out Blaney.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. And then you had, like I said, Haley get damaged with the McDowell incident. And I don't know. It was kind of cool to see these guys that aren't usually up front, which I guess I can't really say because the SHR guys all of a sudden, hey, the team's going away. Let's drive good. I don't know. Every week just seems to be performing better and better.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
especially that 4.
The pressure's on to perform, right? Like, you better figure it out if you want to ride next year. And I think, we always thought that Kevin Harvick was the magic sauce in that 4 car, but I think we've never given Ronnie Childress the credit he deserves in that. I think it was the combination of them too, and now you're starting to see Rodney and Josh like really starting to gel and figure each other out. So I think Ronnie's just finding out what Josh likes and is able to put speed in the car to suit him. So
yeah, 2 great weeks for Josh Berry in a row. I think. The whole Rodney and Josh package, I think, is going to sell. I think somebody's going to go out there, open the checkbook, and Josh has got to ride somewhere. Where, we don't know yet.
Not Joe Gibbs.
Well,
that ride's
Justin Haley says he's sticking with Rick Ware, so I guess that keeps the 21 open, right? And honestly, if he sticks with Rick Ware the way he's running, I don't blame him.
No.
Over the Wood Brothers car, because what have you seen from the 21? I know Harrison Burton's driving it, but we've had that discussion before. Like, is it him or is it the car? Hard to really say. You are the 4th Penske car. Penske all around isn't doing super great right now. They have their moments. I know Blaney has a win and he's looked strong at times, but Joey Logano's sort of just there. Austin Cindric sort of the same. So do you take a chance going to Penske, or that RFK alliance? Maybe that gets stronger. Maybe that's his path to getting to RFK, which that might be more advantageous. I don't know. I'm not gonna question his judgment because we all thought he was crazy for leaving Colleague, and look at how that turned out. So you do you, Justin.
Yeah, that makes sense if he stays there until Brad retires. That was kind of what I thought was going to happen when Brad was the one that said that he told him to go to Rick Ware Racing.
Mm-hmm.
But how many years does Brad have left? 1, maybe 2?
He's has the advantage of owning a team. You can stay there however long you want, but
yeah, it's true.
Pretty decent. I say a couple years.
How old is he?
He's got to be.
I thought he was
close to 40.
I thought he was 39, right? But I could be wrong.
Well, then if you go by Kevin Harvick,
he is 40.
He's probably got another 5 years if he really wanted to. But are they getting one of these charters? Is RFK trying to buy a 3rd charter? Who knows? Does that open up a 3rd seat for him to go that route?
Yeah.
Because they don't really, the other thing is RFK doesn't really have a development program either. So, Justin Haley's a young guy. They get a 3rd charter. Or, like you said, maybe Brad does step out early. Maybe he says, you know what? I'll just run that 60 car whenever I feel like it. And I'll have somebody take this full-time ride over. You never know. I don't hate the move of staying with Rick Ware Racing, especially if that means, you're getting yourself an in at RFK.
Yeah. So Austin says, this podcast sucks. Where's the tall, handsome, sexy guy with all the correct opinions?
I'm tall and handsome, so I'm right here, bud. Come on.
Yeah, what are you talking about? He's right there in the middle. Get your eyes checked out.
He doesn't have any opinions, though.
Okay.
So, final thing I have of the race. Kyle Larson tells Tyler Mon, his spotter, to shut the fuck up when Tyler tells him that Denny Hamlin races him that way because he lets him race him that way. How do you guys feel?
That was so... Alex caught me off guard. I think that was during a caution. They showed that replay, and I was like checking Twitter, and that was like, wait, who said that? That was so caught off guard.
Very not Hendrick. They definitely had a meeting about that. I promise.
Yeah, I'm sure Monday morning Rick had them in a meeting room going over that one, but yeah, I don't know if I'd talk to a coworker like that, even if he was really close. So Drake, shush.
Well, what is your opinion of the situation?
Well, I mean, I think that's something where like I kind of relate it to, like a spotter is like a caddy, right? You have to kind of know when to tell your guy certain things, right? And Tyler Mond probably thought, hey, hey, Denny's using you up, use him back. And Kyle probably didn't want to hear that, or he knew that and didn't want someone telling him that. So I I don't fault Mon for saying that. I mean, if
I
that's
do.
what he's
I get so fucking tired of everybody acting like Kyle Larson is such an innocent
Yes.
little boy out there just minding his P&Qs and being so polite. Kyle Larson uses everyone up. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not holding it against him. Like, if that's how you got to race, that's how you got to race. But this idea that, like, oh, Denny just uses Kyle up all the time. Like, that's how Kyle races.
Yep.
Kyle is like a more skillful Ross Chastain, if you really look at it. Like, I mean, I watched him when he went into the back of the pack at Iowa, when they made that pit stop, and he works through the field, and they kept showing like him making passes and stuff. I didn't see a single pass where he wasn't like using somebody up and pushing them offline and stuff like that. Like, that's
Yep.
how he races. If you watch him race dirt, he does the same thing. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm so annoyed at people acting like, oh, everybody just uses Kyle up. Like, that's because that's how he races them.
Yeah.
And that's also how you have to race this car in some degree, I think. I mean, Denny on his podcast explained it really well. You know, if you give an inch, it's just racing. If Denny gives Kyle an inch, Kyle gets the position. If Kyle gives Denny an inch, Denny gets the position. So they're just both trying to push each other as hard as they can to get the spot. And that's just how it is. So I'm annoyed because they're like, oh, well, he drives you like that because you let him. Well, Kyle drives people like that all the time. And I think that's why Kyle told him, shut the fuck up. I like to think Kyle knows that that's just racing. Like, there's nothing wrong with what Denny did. And Kyle's raced people the same way. And it's just all fine. Like, everybody's just getting worked up over nothing.
Yeah. Plus, the other thing you got to look at is Denny and Kyle are actually friends off the track. So it's, yeah, I think Larson's in the right here where he's telling the spotter, just get in your lane, right? Obviously, the spotter's going to see things differently. But yeah, look at Iowa last week. He was just going through the field 3 wide, pushing people out of the way, making room. He paid for it, but that's how he races. We've seen him take out his teammates for wins. We've seen him hit like Chase Elliott multiple times, and it's just that's how he races. He's not a clean driver, but everybody's got blinders on because he's the most popular driver now, and that's what they want to see is Mr. Clean Driver down here. So
yeah, it really is the same. It's funny you say that. It's the same thing with Chase. Like, I don't have a problem with Chase. I don't have a problem with Kyle Larson. I have a problem with the people who act like they're perfectly innocent and never fuck up ever. Like,
yeah, Chase is a saint. What do you mean?
Yeah. How do I kick somebody from this podcast?
You go down to the bottom there and hit remove.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I have no problem with Kyle Larson saying I found it funny, and then it seems to be a little bit overblown in my opinion. But it is what it is, right? I guess we could talk about the Blaney comments on Michael McDowell. Like, you're driving like an idiot. I mean, he was, right? But you got to expect it, right?
Yes and no. Like, I mean, like, this is the second time this year he's done this like desperate move to like get the win, and he's cost himself what would have been a good finish.
A lot of points, yeah.
Like
Talladega. It's the third time, ain't it?
Yeah, I think I saw someone tweeted like this is the third time he's done something like that, and like if he just took his position,
like like if you just take the day, like he would have made up a lot of points on everybody, really, because Kyle Busch had a dog shit day. Joey Logano had a good first stage, but then fell off. Who else? There's
99
somebody else.
points, Joe.
Yeah,
I mean, at this point, he's probably put into a must-win situation. But it's like if you take this, you take the Talladega situation. I don't know what third situation you're talking about, but say there is.
I want to say Daytona, but maybe it was Atlanta. It was one of those tracks.
I don't know, but whatever. But if it's like it's just, it seems like he's. I think Junior said this in his podcast, and I agree with it. It's something like he's still stuck in that like FRM is just this little race team that never has a shot, so he like has to just take everything he can get. When really that's not the case anymore, because they do have that Penske alliance, their tier 1 Ford partner. You don't necessarily have to race that way. You can just take what the car will give you and get these, collection of just good, solid finishes and see where you're at the end of the day. Plus, he still has a couple road courses, don't we, in the regular season? Am I high?
Yeah, I think so.
We got Chicago.
Glenn.
Chicago.
No, wait,
Just
Glenn's
Chicago.
playoffs. Yeah,
Just
that's right.
yeah. So just Chicago, okay. But still, he'll do well there. We know that. Where else are we going? I'm sure there's not, Pocono. I'm sure he'll do well there.
Yeah.
I don't know. And plus, there's Daytona at the end of the season. Well, not the end, but I don't know. And I like, if you're gonna send it, I'm fine with you sending it in, but like, I don't like when people send it with no regard for anybody else and just clean somebody else out. Not saying he went in there to clean Blaney out, but that's ultimately what happened. So I'm kind of not a fan for that. Like, if you go for it and you wreck yourself, that's one thing. But then once you start collecting other people, I feel a little differently about it. But
I think McDowell's also trying to go out on top at FRM. He's trying to get them to the playoffs. He's trying to get a win just to, like, that's his home, right? He's had a good run. He won the Daytona 500. He's made the playoffs, and it's just.
I mean, you could argue they are the company they are today because of McDowell's.
Oh, 100%. That Daytona
Absolutely.
500 has changed that team tremendously.
So
So
I could see him putting pressure on himself to like go out with a bang, sort of speak.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he just overdrove.
I think if Blaney doesn't have that Iowa win, though, he is fucking fuming.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, before we get into the Xfinity race, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give us a rating on Spotify. Everything helps. We're still this small little podcast. We're growing. We had our first over 1,000 view video the other week. Viewer numbers are up. We got TikTok popping off.
There you go. The Talk app.
It's still going strong before it gets banned in the US. I don't even know if that's still a thing. It's just
we'll find out.
Not talked about. Yeah. If it's shut down one day. We got an Instagram, we got a Facebook, we got a little bit of everything. Twitter, make sure to follow us there. Join our Discord. I don't know, do stuff. All right. Well, let's get in the Xfinity race. Big surprise. Christopher Bell wins. Shocker.
He actually almost didn't.
He didn't.
He wasn't going to win that race.
Sheldon Creed did the most Sheldon Creed thing. He moved the leader out of the way just so somebody else can pass for the lead.
Second place finisher, I think.
I think Sheldon Creed still has a shot at getting Bell if Custer doesn't move him back. I think that's what really killed Creed, because it looked like, because Creed was coming out at 4 on the top. I think he would have had the momentum going down the front, but Custer, just gave it to him back. What he gave to him in 1 and 2, and that made him lose all his momentum.
I don't blame Custer there at all.
No, I don't blame him at all either.
Yeah.
He said, you took this away from me, well, you ain't winning it either.
Creed finishes second in so many races, and it's because he goes up, he hits the leader, and then the third place guy passes. Like we saw it at Martinsville. I think it happened at Iowa too. And it's just like over and over and over again. It's the same move from Creed. And honestly, I think he wins that race on speed if he doesn't hit Custer. But I don't know. I think he's putting pressure on himself to get a win too, because he still hasn't won a race.
Yeah. I mean, he's looking like Daniel Hemrick 2.0. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we started this race on wet weather. I thought the track, it was dry already. It wasn't anything special to me. Plus, there's no rubber on the track, so they just ran the racing line.
It's cool because you see how slick those tires are. Like I just think we need to run groove tires. I really do. Like you want to fix short track package. I heard people talking about sprinklers and all this nonsense. Just run groove tire, dude.
Less contact.
We need to take grip away. That's what these rain tires prove every single time. We need to take grip away, because we ran the soft tire compound, the wet weather tire compound at the All-Star race, and didn't see much of a difference because you still have a massive contact patch. Yep. Take it away. Start putting grooves in them.
I don't disagree.
If they wear out, they wear out. Who cares?
Less mechanical grip. Boom.
Yes. It's not complicated. Less grip equals more racing equals better racing. We were shown that every single time.
I'm wondering if they can take this super hard tire that we've had and put grooves in it and see how that performs.
Maybe that's the solution.
Yeah.
Because then it wouldn't wear out as fast, but you're also, because the concern is with the tread tire, it'll wear out like crazy. But you take a super hard tire, you put treads in it, it might not, you're cutting down on the contact patch, and hopefully it doesn't evaporate in 10 laps.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know. I think that's the avenue we need to explore, though. I don't know if compounds and all that nonsense is really going to matter.
Yeah. I'll say this: when they threw the green flag on Sunday for those last 82 laps, like that was nuts. Everybody just barreling in to turn 1, and they go like 5 and 6 wide. It was like, what is this? You got guys down on the apron. It was like, what? Okay, I'm sitting down for this and watching it. But
I was more shocked to see, like, somebody said that they were shocked to see him go on the apron, but I was more shocked to see him go up against the wall. Because I mean,
yeah,
you see, like, the line is sort of like run the apron as it is, like in the dry. Like you see guys, I think Bell does it a lot, and a couple other guys do it too, where they like really try to hug the apron coming out of 2 and 4. So I wasn't super shocked to see him down on the apron, but like up at the wall, that was kind of wild.
yeah, and I'm guessing they blew the track off, so there wasn't a bunch of rubber buildup. But it's kind of like on a road course when it rains. Where do you go? You go where you haven't been racing. So that's what they did. And I was surprised Tyler Reddick actually put it, the normal racing line the first couple of laps, and it held. But we saw everybody move off that pretty quick. Haley Deegan, still complete trash. Do you guys see this wreck?
No.
Oh man.
Okay. So I don't remember if it was going into 1 or going into 3. Austin Hill, I don't remember if he had a penalty, why he's back there. He makes it 3 wide and puts Deegan middle. And she just doesn't turn. She like freaks out, goes straight, and takes whoever's on the high side out. And it's like, what are you doing? Just doesn't even try to make the corner, nothing. Just straight. I finally think the internet is turning around to realizing she's awful. And as long as she's got money, though, she's going to have a ride. I know.
Pretty much. So it works.
Yeah. Sad reality.
Yep.
Thoughts on New Hampshire? Good weekend, bad weekend?
Oh, it's a great weekend. Best races of the year. Yeah, I felt pretty validated though. I was pretty excited about that.
You pointed the fences on that one.
I 100% called that one.
Yep.
I mean, it's his best track. You cannot deny it. I think he's undefeated in Xfinity. I forget what stat I saw for his cup, but like, I mean, he's just really good there. I mean, the only reason he finished like dog shit last year is because like they got put back, and I think he got caught in an accident or something like that. But like he was super good last year. Like it's just he's really good there for whatever reason. So don't bet against him when we're going to New Hampshire. That's all I'm gonna tell you. And I did pre-order both the Race Wing diecasts. We're getting the sweep weekend set, so pretty excited about that.
How does it feel to be rich?
It's like $2,000 on Lionel, right?
I know.
Well, I didn't spring for the elites. I got both arcs.
Oh, okay. So, only 1,500. Yeah,
he's broke.
Yeah.
God, man, they just keep raising their prices, and the quality keeps going down. I don't understand it.
I haven't
not buying the diecast until they make them better. Zach,
I don't know. I got an arc. I got an arc William Byron, and it was the first arc I've ever bought, and I was pretty pleased with it. I don't have any issues with it. Yeah, I thought it looked good.
I haven't bought one in a while. It's just not worth it for me right now. I
mean, back in the day when we had these, really good ones back, like, I'll just say 2010, the COT elites. Oh my God. So detailed, looked amazing. And then you get the elites now, and it's like, this is the most basic car. This is like a Hot Wheels car compared to, an elite.
I think that's what this new premium is, because now they got this premium elite. Like it's $150.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm not buying that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. You start getting to that kind of price, like now I'm starting to consider just buying actual sheet metal from the car.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I was on Joe Gibbs Racing.
Same price.
It's not the same price, but it's like getting to the point where it's like,
yeah.
I wish I lived in North Carolina, because I see these guys selling race metal all the time, and it's like, I'd buy that. Oh, no shipping. Or it's like $1,000 for shipping for like $100 piece of sheet metal.
I was looking at the JGR shop, and it was like a door panel was like, I don't know, $400 maybe.
Oh, I'd be all over that.
A TV panel, like it's like the whole rear, basically the rear between the taillights. That's like the most expensive part, it seems like, and it was like $550.
Really?
Something like 550 or 600. I can't remember. Yeah, that was the most expensive part that I saw being sold.
Yeah, if I could find a Tyler Reddick door number,
I think I saw they had a Seabell. It's from one of the Ream cars, the new paint scheme Ream, and it's just like the 20. It's just like perfectly there, and I'm like, oh, that would look really good above my computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some Facebook groups where they sell used race metal, and it's just there's some really cool things out there.
Yeah.
All right, but back to the podcast. We're gonna
Yes.
hop into the news. So we mentioned Seabell, really good at New Hampshire, so good that NASCAR is going to put it in the playoffs so Seabell can win a championship next year.
Sorry, we're going to win this year, so we'll run another one next year.
He's good at flat tracks like Phoenix, but yep, they're giving him 2 chances next year. So
that's
according to Jordan Bianchi, next year Watkins Glen, Atlanta, and Homestead are all out of the playoffs. The first 2, I'm not surprised. Homestead out?
Why?
We knew Atlanta was coming out, which I'm glad to see, because I'm taking Atlanta out. Because the schedule this year is all goobed up because of
the Olympics.
Yeah. So Darlington's going back in. Good. Atlanta's coming out. Daytona's going to be the final race again, which we all love.
All good things.
Watkins Glen coming out, I'm indifferent to. Honestly, Homestead coming out, if it's not the championship race, I don't really care where it is, to be honest with you. Like, it's a good race. Like, it doesn't affect me not being in the playoffs or being in the playoffs. Like, I just want it to be the championship race.
But see, that's the thing is, it's a good race, and I want it to stay. And like, I think all the good races need to be put in the playoffs. Phoenix, not a good race. Fair. Take it out of the playoffs.
Out.
I think all the best tracks should be there. So
that's fair.
I don't know. That's my opinion.
With Glenn coming out, that means Roval's staying, I suppose. But I know there's been rumors.
You'd have to assume.
Yeah.
At least for next year.
Get rid of the everyone wants the Roval to go away. I guess that's what I was saying, but doesn't seem like it.
I mean, what this might be is this might just be a next year thing too. Because the other thing I did here is, what they might be doing with Homestead is moving it to March, because I think that's when they're supposed to be moving it to, like early spring. Move it to March and do some updates to the track. Give them plenty of time to do updates, and then have it go back into the playoffs. Maybe the championship race for 2026.
Down for that. I'm down for that theory.
Like this might be a move to like give them an early date to give them as much time as possible to do some updates.
Yeah, I heard it's after the West Coast swing to kind of give Bristol and that a later date by like a week.
Bristol, the spring Bristol race needs to be moved to the 4th of July weekend.
Absolutely.
That should be the 4th of July race.
That'd be a hoot.
You cannot convince me otherwise.
Man, if they had more places for like camping and that'd be an insane weekend. I just feel like
there's tons of places, because they always talk about how big camping there used to be at Bristol back when it was like a full show. I remember
used to be. I don't know. I don't remember there being that much.
That's what they talk about, like on the different podcasts. They say that there used to be camp areas full for Bristol. I don't know how much that is, but they say
because there wasn't many of them.
They say those areas are like all empty now because, well, they blame like limited practice. You don't get the weekend show and all that stuff. But you move it to
Easter
4th of
weekend.
July. You do, that too. But you move it to 4th of July, man. You make a fucking week of it. Have some other support series race during the week or something. Dude, you could have like the modifieds race there. Pretty sure modifieds race there.
Yeah.
Have modified show up that week. You like there's all kinds of shit you could do. I think it'd be huge.
Yeah. That I agree. NASCAR needs more supporting series if they're going to limit the practice and shit like that. Fans need more shit at the track. I mean, I'd rather go for a full weekend of racing. Exactly. I mean,
if you pay for a streaming service, America, they put a bunch of shows out. Are you going to pay for it? No. You want more content.
Road America had the Trans Am series and the Miatas there. So you had a full day of racing, and you still had practice in that and qualifying. And I don't know, it just made a whole weekend. Whereas now you're going to a race and you're qualifying and then racing, and that's it.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, make it a triple header. Have trucks, Xfinity, Cup, 4th of July week. Maybe try to get some modifieds in there that week. And just have one hell of a show, man. I think it'd be great.
So replacing Watkins Glen, Atlanta, Homestead, supposedly is New Hampshire, Gateway, and Darlington. I don't love New Hampshire in the playoffs. I don't know if I like Gateway in the playoffs. And I don't like the rumor around Gateway now. I don't want NASCAR to own that track.
I guess it depends. Like what's replacing what. Like, I mean, because you figure what Atlanta's coming out, so that's a play track. So
Darlington.
I don't really care. I don't really care what's replacing Atlanta. What's replacing Homestead? I don't really care. Well, no, I do care about that. That's the one I don't like. But Atlanta and Watkins Glen, like I don't know. Like I don't. The only loss I see here is Homestead coming out. Watkins Glen coming out and being replaced by New Hampshire, for example, does not bother me. Atlanta coming out and being replaced by Gateway doesn't bother me. See what I'm saying? Like it's those exchanges don't really irritate me. Now, if you say Homestead came out so New Hampshire can go in, then I don't like that. You see what I'm saying? Like the way you
Atlanta's
frame
out for Darlington, right? Because that's that date. But
yeah, so Atlanta's swapping for Darlington. So Watkins Glen. So either way, Homestead is coming out for either New Hampshire or Gateway.
Not worth it.
Probably New Hampshire is replacing. When was Watkins Glen? Was Watkins Glen in the first round?
Yes. So that'd be Gateway. That'd be New Hampshire.
You'd have to put New Hampshire in the first round because if you wait too long, especially with the track with no lights, like you're going to be up against it with, the fall solstice coming in, all that, and you're losing daylight. Yeah. Which I hope they're smart and start that race at like 1 or 2 o'clock. Like 3 o'clock, 3:30 starts. Getting that time of year is kind of stupid, but
yeah, 1 o'clock start time. Be done with it. Every race should be that. Then you got Bristol, Kansas, Talladega, Charlotte, which is the Roval, Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, Phoenix. So I could see Vegas getting a later date, getting pushed back to October, or late October, and then probably Gateway right there.
I'd like to see a shuffling of the playoff schedule, like just the general shuffle of the tracks in there, because like I feel like we do the same routine all the time. And they always get to that like round of 8 and they're like, oh, you got to win Vegas. Like switch it up. Like some people have an inherent advantage at Vegas. And we all know if you win Vegas, then you're going into the championship weekend with a huge advantage because you can just say, fuck the next 2 weeks and only focus on the championship.
So what Zach's trying to say is he wants the first flat track to be the first cutoff race. Yes. The second cutoff race is going to be the next flat track, and then the championship race.
No, I don't want them cutoff races. I want them to be the first race. They need to be the first race.
Oh, so he just locks himself in, and then he doesn't have to worry about it. Okay.
But no, I mean, I'm making sense, right? Like that makes sense. Like, why would you not switch it up? I'm not even talking about that really. Like, I don't know. I don't want Martinsville being the last race is good for Martinsville, because I think that having that be the last race before the championship race, that gets a lot of crazy moments. So I guess you have to leave Martinsville where it's at, especially with the short track package being dog shit. But I don't know, maybe shuffle them around where you can, switch it up so teams just don't know what to expect all the time.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I was saying that back when Jimmy Johnson was doing his thing because it got old.
Yeah, really I mean that's them guys turned it on.
Yep. All right. The other big news this week, and it's official after Christopher Bell announced it on Saturday. Chase Briscoe is officially racing at Joe Gibbs Racing next year. So there's our first SHR driver. Well,
taken care of. Yeah. And they're keeping Bass Pro, so that's big for them.
Welcome to the team, Chase.
Did they actually announce that they're keeping Bass Pro, or is everybody just assuming that because they said?
No, the Bass Pro guy was like there.
Oh, that was the guy that was talking and was just like, kill me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had to shut it off. That dude was annoying me. So I guess, there's 3 drivers now looking for a team. Technically 2. I don't see Priest moving up.
No, he's going to Xfinity. I think someone asked him, like, would you be okay going to Xfinity? He says, as long as we win races. To me, that says he's going to Xfinity.
Yeah.
He's going to that SHR Xfinity. Well, whatever
that is.
SHR
Yeah.
becomes after this, he's going to be going to their Xfinity because I don't see him going anywhere else, honestly.
So he might be staying with Haas because they're keeping one Cup charter.
And you think Ryan Priest is going to keep it?
No,
not the Cup charter.
Let me talk here.
Okay.
And they're going to have a 2-car Xfinity team.
Yes, that's where he's going.
So Priest is going to Xfinity. Cole Custer is going to come back up because
his dad is running that team. Well, his dad's running that team, I think.
I love how committed they are to Joe Custer is running the team, and we're not really sure who our driver's going to be yet.
Wait, and we're not.
It was announced first that it was going to be Joe Custer Racing, and then it suddenly became Haas. Was it
whatever Haas Racing Team or something?
Yeah, it's.
So. I mean, if they were smart, what they would try to do is if Josh Berry and Rodney Childress still don't have
them,
sign them.
Yeah,
immediately.
True.
I don't know why you don't say a 2-car team. I really don't, because I just think that allows your team to, like, I don't know, grow. I guess you got the second driver that can have input on what's happening and stuff like that.
Yeah, now they'll just be the Wood Brothers to like RFK or something. They'll be the fourth team.
Are they staying with Ford?
They don't have to stay Ford.
Oh, they don't. That's true.
No.
Good.
So.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing. Now they don't have a manufacturer.
Well, no, I think their Xfinity was confirmed Ford, right? I thought I saw that.
I don't think they have an alliance, so whatever that means. So they're not going to be like a premier partner like they are.
Right.
Yeah. So everything I've seen is they have no agreement for 2025 with Ford. So it could change.
Interesting. Yeah. And obviously it's sponsored by Haas CNC, so shocker there.
No way. That dude's got so much money for those machines. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes care of the second charter that we know from SHR.
Yep.
But I don't know if you guys noticed this during the podcast, or not our podcast, the Gluck podcast. The Teardown. I'm just all over the place right now. But they were saying that they're all accounted for now. Did you catch that?
I hadn't listened to any other podcasts this week yet, so I did not catch that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so they were talking. They're like, "Oh, that's where the fourth charter's going." And it was like, you guys know. And it's 2311. I mean, it's 100%.
Definitely They're getting one RFK, but Brad keeps saying they don't have the money. But
it's Trackhouse. It's got to be Trackhouse.
Yeah, that would make sense.
They're spoken for. They're just waiting for this charter agreement to finalize, is my guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just something I noticed is like, Which, speaking of 2311 and the third charter, Corey Heim going to be in I think it's the 50 car?
50, yes.
Yeah, at Nashville this weekend. So, I mean, he keeps showing up and everything. Xfinity's doing great. Trucks is doing great.
Time.
It's time.
Sure is.
Yep.
That's probably also how you keep him calm from fucking raging after you give Chase Briscoe the Open 19 car. Whoa. We got 2311.
Yeah. Qualifying format's getting even more complicated.
Why, dude?
I try to get this.
I immediately put in Discord like the hangover like math meme, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Make it you're one car, you get 2 laps, and that's it. It's not hard.
Yeah. I get tired of I did see people like defending it, like, oh, well, every other motorsports has knockout format, dude. I get so tired of the every other motorsports. You know why NASCAR succeeded for so long? Because it's not like every other motorsports. It's not like every other form of motorsports. Like, quit ruining what makes you unique. It drives me insane. But yes, just go back to single car. Like, it's as compelling. I don't know. But sometimes it can be. Like, it can be very exciting. Like, I think that's another example of, trying to force excitement. You're trying to force this like knockout situation. Like when it just happens naturally, it's so much more exciting. When like a guy's sitting on the top of the board and then just gets knocked off by some other guy. Like, I don't know. It's it doesn't have to be a super big show. It's sort of my same argument with the Clash. Like it doesn't have to be this big production with a bunch of excitement. Like just do qualifying. It is what it is. You'll probably save time. Take that time you're saving from him hauling around and put it back into practice. Maybe. I don't know. It's just I'm over it.
So another thing I think that got leaked this week, Denny Hamlin said that we are doing Bowman Gray in February. So that'll be, not great there. Joe, you're muted because you have background noise.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was about to say Clashy Clash. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Bowman Gray in February just seems awful to me.
But... It's going to either be 20 degrees or 60 and sunny. There's no in between. So can't wait. But at least we don't have to ship the whole industry across the country for an exhibition race anymore.
Yep. I don't know. Clash ran its course. I don't know. Bring back speed weeks.
Yep. That'd be my vote.
Yep. Let's go to kill count. We got a lot this week. We
sure do.
This is kind of crazy.
A lot of wrecking.
Yeah. So McDowell won. I almost gave him 2 for just because Haley was done after that. How do you guys feel? Haley got no. Okay.
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Logano. He's getting 1 for that awesome
wrecking Chase.
I enjoyed it.
I hate it.
Kyle Busch. He gets 1. Justin Haley. Who did Justin Haley take out?
Ross.
Oh, yeah. Good for him. And Noah Gregson's getting 3. Ryan Preece is getting 2. That was the LaJoy Kyle Busch one, I believe.
Shouldn't Kyle Busch have another for his tire blown out on him under caution?
Taking himself out?
Or whatever broke on there. But
I don't think anything broke. I think he just
said, after this noise, I'm out.
It looked like he got sideways because, he was trying to push it in the rain and then just went straight into the wall. If you're having the day that Kyle Busch is having and then you did that, I'm getting the fuck out of that car too. All right. Survivor. I think if Zach wins this year, we need to put an asterisk next to his name after this race.
What?
Because I had second place. Oh, you called it. You knew that it was going to rain.
I said Christopher Bell's going to win.
He got
and who
lucky.
won? Doesn't matter who won. Yeah.
I should have got second. That's all I'm saying. I think Drake would have won.
Even at that point, even before the rain, though, I still
won.
Won.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bell was still the highest.
I lost 2 points. So if I lose by 2 points,
I put the scores in.
Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse Championship. Saying it now.
Christopher Bell.
I'll send you the ears.
He won a rain extended race, so that's a Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. All
right. I was
well,
winning at that point anyway. So
I was doing okay with Ross until Justin Haley decided to dump him. So I get to go first this week. I need to start making up points. We're gonna go Chase Elliott at Nashville.
Correct choice. And then me.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Bubba Wallace. And then I think Drake was next, right? He has his pick in.
Oh,
he's going with Austin Dillon. So Austin stick together, I guess.
He's thrown in the towel.
I'm gonna make a change. I was gonna go with Briscoe. I am going Preece.
Interesting. Another interesting pick.
It's a throwaway.
It's a layup. Yeah.
I guess he has won there in Xfinity before, so there's that.
I was gonna do Chase Briscoe, but I think there's a smarter spot I can put Chase Briscoe. So
I'm surprised you guys aren't throwing Justin Haley out with how he's been running.
Justin. Yeah, I don't know.
You can't change. You picked. You said it.
There was somewhere else I wanted to save Haley for. I can't remember where it was.
There's a couple of decent tracks for him coming up. And honestly, Daytona probably be a solid choice for him.
Daytona's good. Yeah.
Darlington. Didn't he do good at Darlington?
I think I'm saving. I'm not going to say who I'm saving. Oh, no, I can't because you all picked him. I'm saving Bubba for Daytona.
Okay. Good choice.
That's my plan right now.
I got to figure out where I'm going to use some of these good drivers that I've been saving. But all right, well, that's Survivor for this week.
Woo.
Oh, I did not check, and I will apologize on the OnlyFans.
I didn't see any come through our desk, but yeah, be sure if y'all have OnlyFans, hit us up on Twitter, TikTok. If you're in the Discord, holler at
Usually
us.
put a link straight to the thing on the bottom of our YouTube.
We do got to start thinking of some things to talk about when we go on our Olympic break. I think I have a topic for discussion that we could chat about when we're on break for Olympics. So be sure to submit us some questions, and if we get any, maybe we save them for those 2 weeks.
I think if we have a schedule release here soon, that we might have to do a quick little 15-minute podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think this schedule is going to be interesting when it comes out. But I haven't looked at bets. I've been just so busy with this whole tree thing and
Tree.
Dude. I don't want any. All the trees in the world cut down. Calling it now. Just get rid of them. Mulch it all.
Boy, we are officially past halfway. I'm just looking at this.
Know.
Oh, we're halfway now? We're not.
We are halfway. We're going to race 19 of 36. So, yeah, we are halfway.
Nice. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, what do we got left? We got Nashville, Chicago. Chicago's going to be interesting just because we're going to have a couple of ringers, aren't we? A couple of the Aussie boys.
I think Chicago's going to be dog shit this year. I think it's going to be the race it was supposed to be last year.
I agree. It's not going to have the rain, and it's going to be just boring. Pocono, Denny Hamlin, Indy, Brickyard.
I'm not expecting much from Indy either.
I'm keeping my expectations low, and I'm hoping to be surprised.
The only hope there is that they haven't been there with this car. So, it seems like the first time we go somewhere, it's a little more exciting just because the teams
don't know.
They don't have 100% figured out. So that's my hope. But other than that, I mean, it's single groove racetrack. We know this car sucks at single groove tracks. So
half of me wants them to make the gearing ratio to where they don't shift, and then the other half's like, no, having them downshift into one would be pretty cool. I have mixed opinions. That way, if you miss that shift, you're fucked for a whole straightaway. And I don't know, that seems decent to me. But then we go to a track that I wish they didn't shift, Richmond. Hopefully they take the Iowa gearing there. Michigan should be a good show. Daytona will be a good show. Darlington, probably a good show. So, I mean, we got a couple of weeks here where it's going to be just mediocre, but then we're going to finish off strong.
Jeez.
Yep. I know. It's going fast.
It is.
And we're past a year and a half into this podcast now. Season and a half.
Yeah. Come on, baby.
Hell yeah. I think I'm going to apply for Michigan. Try to go up there.
That'd be fun. That's always a good race.
I've been there multiple times just as a fan. Usually very drunk. Good time. So
very nice.
I think behind Talladega, the party at Michigan's right where it's at.
Really?
Oh, dude, you get all the Canadians come down. Oof.
Yeah, they know how to drink too.
Dude, they do. It's crazy. I always love just partying with the Canadians.
I got some Canadian whiskey hiding up there somewhere.
Nice. It's just what's the cheapest? What's that Canadian whiskey that's really cheap? That's what it is. Just
no, it's
Canadian Dry or whatever the hell it's called. No, that's gin. Yeah.
No, I got the Caribou, the Canadian Blantons.
There you go.
This guy. Yeehaw.
Well, Jesus Christ. It was so
sorry, that was loud. I forgot it was a whole bottle of bourbon. Whoops.
All right. Well, I guess, we got anything for next week? Nashville? We're doing the July 4th schemes this week?
I think so. I mean, I guess would June? You do it? Well, July 4th is next Thursday. Would you do it that weekend still? I guess some people might. Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going to celebrate it. Yeah, it's the first weekend in July, not the last weekend in June.
It's a little weird that it's in June. I agree.
If July 4th was on I don't know. It's just wrong. You go to the weekend that's the closest. If July 4th is on a Monday, guess what? You do it the race before. If it's on a Friday. You do it the week after. It's easy.
I
Why
did
are we
see
doing Nashville?
I
Do
did see
country
a tweet
shit.
that they're still not letting people bring coolers in. It's going to be hot as hell over there. So Nashville, man, it's weird because it's a SMI track. Literally every other SMI track you can bring a cooler into, and they're like, for Nashville, like, nah, screw you guys. Hope you survive.
Well, I got nothing else this week. I'm ready to.
I'm good.
Call it quits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
good.
Well, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, thumbs up, reviews. Everything helps. Leave us an OnlyFans. But peace out.
Love you guys.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Green White Checkered podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. For more from the boys and the podcast, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWC Pod for the podcast, at Biggles TV for Zach, at ShakenDrake_TTV for Austin, at Picks by Fitz for Andrew, and at J_Sully10 for Joe. Head over to thegwcpod.com to submit a question for our OnlyFans segment. Thanks again for listening, and we hope to catch you again next episode.
Football season may be over, but for frequency's sake still has you covered for all your sporting needs. Tune in every Sunday when the best professional wrestling podcast around, Cards Subject to Change, gets you caught up on everything inside the ropes. They won't miss a count with weekly analysis and interviews. More into auto racing? We've got a double dose for you on the track. Tune in to Fast Money with Rod Villagomez each week and win some money with the quickest bets in all of sports. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your basketball fix? Points in the Paint has you covered with live shows every other week looking at everything in the association. Backed by popular demand, we have the return of The Payoff Pitch, FFSQC's baseball show, covering you on news around the MLB. If you're missing football, don't fret. Mark and Dan still have you covered in the football lounge. Missing Joe Winkle? Probably not, but he's still here talking sports on Educated Ignorance. Football season might be over, but we've still got you covered. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
For free